Welcome to the official Butthole Podcast, bringing you movies, video games, and randomness in between. Now bringing your hosts, Scott, the Great Brandino, Gage's Rage, and Star Lamar. When did we put a wheelie spin on the intro?
Oh, that happened after last podcast when we were spinning the wheel of topics. Although, I was going to say, let's spin the wheel of movies, but everybody knows the movie. We have had now, 3 weeks to watch it?
Yeah, what was the movie? Three of us have watched it.
Welcome, everybody, to the official Butthole Podcast. Brought to you by none other than the Blue Collar Media Group. We are now proud members of the Blue Collar Media Group. We had a big-time announcement on our last podcast, episode number 178, announcing that we are now getting calls from our agent because our last podcast just must have bombed or something. I don't know. I'm sure it was Gage's opinions. But here we are anyways for the movie review.
Look at that shit.
Gage, you picked it, right?
No, this was not my pick, but I endorsed it.
This was my pick.
Star's pick. Star Lamar.
3 weeks ago.
Take it away.
It was called Middlemen, and it was a movie about a couple American heroes.
Dude.
There's two people. Oh, what is this? Breaking news.
What
the fuck is that?
It's a new Major Melon Mountain Dew.
Oh, shit. We got a new Mountain Dew flavor. I love Dew.
Should we do a live Mountain Dew review right at the top
Joel, tell them about the can first.
So, here we go. Live Mountain Dew review. We're no longer doing beer reviews because Scott doesn't drink beer anymore. This is Mountain Dew Major Melon. I really like the can. It's got a watermelon with just battered full of war wounds with a helmet on top of him, like a soldier's helmet.
Definitely military
He's a major.
grade.
Military major. Major Melon is the flavor. It only has 160 calories per can, 0% juice, lot of added sugar. 87% of the sugar in it's added sugar, so they add a lot of sugar to it.
So you know what's good?
Let's see what we got.
Hold on. I missed a lot of this. I had a Spectrum calling me. What's the can look like?
We already talked about this.
He gave 60 seconds in the can.
I gave the can a solid 6.9, and the pop itself is, if you like watermelon, it's like an 8.7. If you don't, it's still like a 6.9.
It's a strong watermelon taste.
A little, not strong. It's more citrusy with a little bit of melon in there.
And you brought 4 of those? Because how many members?
I mean, we can hand it around if you guys want to try it. I don't care.
That doesn't sound COVID safe.
He brought 4 of them.
We get together in a room for 3 hours and sit within 6 feet.
Ooh, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. If you like the watermelon, give that Major Melon a taste.
I like it. I was excited when I found it yesterday.
You get a whole 12-pack of that, or just the one?
Nope, whole 12-pack.
I don't know if I can do a 12-er.
Where'd you acquire it?
Target.
The grocery store, dude.
Yep.
Come on, dude.
Is that like the pop store, bro?
I didn't know if it was a Taco Bell exclusive or something.
No, but I'm a fan of it. I like it. As Brandon said, a 12-pack's going to be a little much, but you just don't drink 3 a day. You drink 2 a day.
The thing is,
dude, a
not
mixer?
even.
A mixer
mixer would be good.
With a watermelon pucker.
Yeah. You take that guy with vodka.
Watermelon-flavored vodka.
Yeah. Like Star was about to say, you have like a couple a week.
Wicked watermelon.
Yeah, because it's not a case of beer. You don't need to drink 12 of them at a time.
Welcome to Butthole Wicked Watermelon Weekend, where Star Lamar doesn't nux the Great Brandino for a full minute.
You leave him hanging the whole show.
What's he doing?
He's posing.
We had a nice play on a bet we had, and
no, sorry, you cracked.
The connection finally happened.
You need shoulder surgery tomorrow.
Dude, I did so many push-ups yesterday.
Dude, you and Trey Sermon might be bed partners.
We might be.
All right, so the reason we're here.
Hold on. Have you guys ever seen How I Met Your Mother?
Does a whale shit in the ocean?
Does Pope touch little boys?
Is there a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow?
Oh, that's
Bear shit in the
cyberbullying.
woods?
Yeah, we're going to get fucking ripped off YouTube for this one.
That's for sure.
Do the Clintons drink baby blood?
That's too far, Scott. Too far.
You're telling me
Is Hunter Biden a former crack addict?
Paul Rudd's getting all these baby bloods and Trump's just letting them do it?
It's a throwback to our movie
Trust the
review.
Patriots.
What, 2 months ago? Trust the Patriots.
All right.
Camp Newton under center.
How I Met Your Mother, there was that episode where Barney was going for the high five. and they left him hanging. And for like days on end, he's like, come on,
The highest of five.
And somebody does it just pretty much by accident or whatever.
Yes.
It's over. That's
It's
how
been
I
a
felt.
while
That's
since
how I
I've
felt.
seen
It
that
was literally 5 seconds.
Good fucking shit.
But the reason we're here today is to talk about the movie Middlemen. And that was Star Lamar's pick.
Yep. And it was a random one. I had a coworker tell me it was pretty good.
Okay.
So I picked it. Never heard of it. It's got some people you've seen in it. Luke Wilson's the star.
Wow.
Giovanni Ribisi. It's his brother, though.
I know.
Who recommended the movie? Was it that bro country dude that you hang out with sometimes?
Yeah, the one who loves Florida Georgia Line.
Is this Inception?
He's a Sam
guy?
Hunt fan,
Yeah.
too, isn't he?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he likes Sam Hunt and Florida Georgia Line, Luke Bryan.
Luke loves Luke
Still-
Bryan.
James Caan is in it, the dude from Step Brothers. James Caan, the dad.
Yeah, he's in, is he Step Brothers? That's not Step Brothers. He's in Elf.
Yes,
He's the dad in Elf.
You're right, Elf.
Both Step Brothers as well. He's the dad there.
No, he's not.
Dale's dad?
I'll put some money on it because I'm picturing the guy right now, and it's not James Caan.
Are you talking the greasy lawyer? In the movie, in this movie.
I'm on a boat and...
Yeah, he's the lawyer
That's not the same guy.
from Step Brothers.
Yeah, definitely not.
Oh, lawyer guy. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Give us the
Greasy lawyer guy.
synopsis.
So, Luke Wilson plays, a down-homed family man
From Texas.
who doesn't like violence. And he's working in some, underground criminal type area as their, bookkeeper or something like that. It has been 3 weeks since I've seen this movie. So
I just watched it
Gage
last
has
night. I
watched
might-
it recently.
yeah,
so
yeah.
if I say things that aren't right, you can just correct me.
Yeah.
And so in one of the opening scenes, he goes in and the guy says, "Give me my money." He goes in there and he's peacefully tries to get the money from him and gives him time and stuff like that. Goes away from the brick and kneecaps. You're never going to get paid that way.
He's with his mob friends and showing how he became known as just the businessman that just takes care of business.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what it is, illegal, like Star had said, or legal. He is just a manager and gets shit done. And
Cuts the fat.
He's just straight to the point. And this guy, the kneecap guy, wants to go bust someone's kneecaps. This guy tries to figure out a way to get his money because you just want your money.
You want the money, yeah. You don't have to scare everyone. You just want to get paid. Let's get our money.
Exactly. We don't always have to go for kneecaps. So
Then it cuts to these two guys who are, one of them used to work for NASA, I believe.
he was a scientist, a space scientist.
Why do you get...
And this
why
movie
are-
takes place early 90s.
Early 90s, and it frames all the way out to what, 2000s?
Yeah.
And
But pretty early internet days. Dial-up shit.
this space scientist gets kicked out because he likes getting high on coke and flying in the zero gravity
That's
machine.
what it was. That's what it was. The other guy worked in some sort of sales position in a company or something like that. He was working with computers, maybe.
He got bounced around a lot.
Yeah.
He was kind of a loser that was in the area. Space scientist flies out to California to try and make it big.
I do like him as an actor. He's in Suits.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
he's a good dude in that show.
I kind of don't like the way he transformed because these two guys come up with the idea when they're coked out of their mind
Which they are the entire movie.
the entire time. And he's like, we need to fucking find something new to jerk off to. I can't jerk off to the same shit.
Calling each other disgusting, you jerk off to that, you sick fucker.
Yeah, the scientist is not so pleased with it, but the other guy's just up front, man. He's coked out and he wants to jerk off at 3 a.m. and the
And
magazines ain't cutting it.
They're going, why is there not porn on the internet? Why can't I just go on the internet and get new porn? Why do I have to go and buy something?
Space scientist goes to town, says, don't bother me for 15 minutes. He comes back 15 minutes later, and he's got the idea that you can just punch in your credit card number, and you will get porn.
Which is the first time that there was any type of payments over the internet.
Never before was there a program for someone to punch in a credit card number and
get a
pay for a
service.
service over the internet.
Regardless
This guy,
of the service. Yeah.
coked up, did it in 15 minutes, and it's still what they said in the movie being used to this day. That
The
program
technology,
being
yeah.
made, which is crazy.
And so they start out low. They were uploading the pictures of stuff that they had.
Yeah,
Right.
taking magazine pictures and loading
And
it up.
uploading that. And then they realized, we need to get fresh stuff.
Yep. After the first day, and it was a weekend of no hits at all.
So-
but after the first day of real volume, they're like, "We're getting complaints. We need fresh stuff."
When they had dingers and stuff.
The next day,
Like a bell.
they get some fresh stuff from the strip club, and then they change their system. So instead of just a buzz whenever someone subscribes, they have a bell for big tits. Or no, the bell was for big asses first, and then they get in a fist fight because a bell should be for big tits because tits look like bells. Just stupid. Whistles for blowjobs, and then they had the girl on the lesbian one was.
So they knew what type of material they needed to keep bringing in.
And
So
it
they knew
was
what
in
their
the
best
first
things were.
month.
When an order came out, it would buzz that
Ding,
sound.
ding, ding.
Yeah.
I mean, the buzzer went off the fucking. It didn't take long before,
You
obviously.
couldn't sleep with volume that loud on your computer. You'd be awake all the time.
And then it starts clicking at $10 a pop. They became millionaires in about 2 months.
And they just so they got in when they got the strippers at the strip club. They got in with
The
Russian,
mob owned that strip club. So they thought they were bringing a great business opportunity to this mobster. Obviously, he was a fan. He wanted money. But after 2 months, and when you got some coked up runners of the business,
And you go to Vegas and you're not paying your guys, you're gonna get your shit kicked.
and the Russian mobster found him in Vegas real quick. And this is where we're introduced to the Luke Wilson character.
Yep. So he was in California helping his buddy start a bar or run a bar, something along
Terry
those
Crews.
lines. Terry Crews. Yep.
Oh yeah.
And he was the lawyer's the one who mutually brought them together, wasn't it?
Greaseball lawyer. Yep.
Yeah. And he said these guys have this problem with the Russians. This is their business. Blah blah blah. And at the time, this lawyer was under investigation and was getting like indicted.
He was in the
Yeah.
front cuff of the FBI.
Yeah. And
They were all
so
investigating him.
he realized, not the lawyer, Luke Wilson realized that this is a business that it's going to potentially
Legit.
make a ton of money. It's just marketed wrong, and cuts out the lawyer because he doesn't want them involved because he knows there's still the Russian mob and little dirty things going on with it. And he turns it from a porn business to a credit card business, so that
They're just being charged a little bit off the top for the service of the credit card program that he invented.
yeah. So he turns it into a legit company.
So instead of running your own website, you bring the service to these strippers and porn stars that want to make their own website, and you're just providing the payment method and skimming a little off the top.
And what we didn't mention, or at least I don't think we did, Luke Wilson was a family man. He had a wife back home. He had a son and a daughter, and he left to go to California to help out with Terry Crews's bar.
Yep.
And then he got into this, and he didn't want to get into the porn industry. But the famous line was talking about, like, it's Holiday Inn and Hilton.
Yeah.
Are they porno
Pornographers?
companies? Yeah. They just
All
they
these
give it
places
to
that
people.
sell porn, like hotels and stuff like that, they don't get looked at like a porn business. It's still a hotel, but they make a lot of money selling porn.
And this stigma back in the 90s and early 2000s when this is taking place was not good for the sex work industry. You know, that the way he thought of this, pitching it as being the middleman, was the way he didn't have any guilt in himself working in this industry. He wasn't making porn. He was just providing the program for them to punch in the credit card.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to get out. He's like, I'm going to make a couple million.
In
enough
one
money to
year,
be settled.
Me and my wife can live happy, and so can the kids.
But came in. They went to go pay off the Russian mob guy. They sent their dude,
Yeah, he meets him down in Vegas.
Ivan. Ivan comes in.
Nephew.
The nephew of the Russian mob comes and asks for his $400,000. So being the businessman that he is, he's like, all right, we give him $450K, $50,000 for their troubles. They're happy. We get to move on and do this the right way. And I'm taking over, basically. We're running it to my T. And Ivan comes in, starts to stir a little shit. He didn't know that Terry Crews and his boys from the bar were behind the door, though. Quickly backtracked after kind of throwing an insult or a threat towards Luke's son. And Terry Crews is like, oh, you messed up. Gave him one mean right hook. Something happens to Ivan. His ear's bloody as he's trying to make the call back to the head boss. Like,
And he's laughing like, oh, good hits. Good hits.
a total Russian mobster. Wants his shot of vodka now and drinks with the boys. And
Boom.
he tries to make that call, blood on his ear, and passes out face first in the glass table. By the time they get to him, he's dead. And now you just killed the Russian mobster's nephew.
And what are you going to do? You can't explain that reasonably.
No.
This is what happened.
Cocaine guys wanted to run.
Oh, yeah.
He said, no. You're basically admitting something happened. You don't say anything.
Yeah.
They got rid of the body, Dexter style, went out on the ocean, dropped it for the sharks.
Couple holes in the lungs, make sure it'll sink.
Yeah. And then just acted like he came, he took his money, and he left.
Yeah.
And so when the mob eventually does come up to him and says, what happened to Ivan? They're said, I don't know. We're assuming
We
he
gave
went
him
back
the
to you.
450,
Maybe he ran
you
with.
asked for.
Yeah.
$50K on top to make it fair. And that's when the Russian mobster, the uncle, is like, oh, what the fuck? We only needed 200.
Yeah, I only wanted 200.
Now there's all sorts of red flags that the businessman didn't know about, Luke didn't know about, but it worked out in his favor in the end.
Because it made it look suspicious that maybe he was just trying to get some money and take off.
And bolted, yep.
The thing that kind of saved him, well, not what saved him, but the Russian mobs were going to kill him. They're going to kill Luke Wilson right
as
there.
soon as he showed up back, he visited back home for the weekend, came back.
And that was going to be it.
Yeah.
However, they're like, you know what? We still need to make our money.
And
You
he
pay us
played it.
X amount every week, on time, no delays, and we won't kill you.
And he was chill as a cucumber when he pitched it, too. I mean, that was a pretty damn good job when you're picked up by the limo at the airport. You know, there's only one way that one goes, usually.
So, yeah, at this time, Luke Wilson is he's running the business.
Yep.
He's in. He's tied into that murder. He doesn't have a choice. He's got to keep rolling.
And now they're expanding from just the one site the two cokeheads had drawn up and were running to now being on, 50, almost 100 different websites specifically for the girls and just being that middleman skimming off the top.
They're making
Piss
millions of dollars.
Buku bucks.
And then
lifestyle changes within the year. The two cokeheads go from just bums living in the same studio to
mansion.
Like their style changed. They were wearing suits and the slicked hair and the highlights. The one guy you're a fan of from Suits, he really turned into a major douche.
Oh yeah.
You could see it right away. I'm like, oh, I wouldn't even talk to that dude.
I wouldn't have put that on.
And these two cokeheads, they get a little jealous because they go to a award. What is it? The AVNs?
Adult Video Awards, AVAs.
Yeah, that's the one. And on the red carpet, the two guys that came up with the idea aren't getting any of the interviews. It's all Luke Wilson and his middleman business ideas, and they start to get jealous because the fame isn't going to them, which they thought it should have. So
the one is more so getting jealous.
Yeah, not
Harvey, not the Suits guy, the other dude,
the other guy, the cokehead, the loser.
Yep.
This guy is like, we're the ones who thought of the idea. It's all our idea. What the hell? So it comes back and they get introduced with this lawyer again, the lawyer that got pinched out by the businessman, Luke Wilson. He comes up and introduces the two original cokeheads to a really skeezy dude porn star. Danny Z, I think was his name. Something like Danny Z. Yeah. This guy was a skeezball, and everyone in the industry knew you don't mess with this guy because he does shady shit. This would come back to bite the boys when...
Yeah, but the lawyer did it on purpose.
He brought it in as a ploy to try... He wanted to get in.
He wanted in after being pinched out.
He had a sidebar with Luke Wilson. He's like, why did you cut me out? He's like, well, you had an indictment, And
the feds were all over you.
You're a family man. Like, why are you still in this? There's something. And his wheels were turning. So he knew that something happened to keep him in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was going to draw that wedge in between the two cokeheads and Luke Wilson... Yes. To try and figure it out, get himself back in there.
Want a piece of the pie. And at the same time with this adult video awards and stuff like that, Luke Wilson is kind of enjoying the lifestyle.
Yes.
A little more. He wasn't just there for business.
And he meets this girl.
There's some nice, pretty young women that are involved in this business that are at all these parties that he's going to. And one tickles his fancy.
One. Every other one he saw, he's like, no issue. He still was his family man. He had his values. But as soon as he saw that girl, he knew there was going to be trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And sure as shit, with enough temptation, being away from home, he did it. He cheated. He jumped the ship a little bit, and things weren't the same. obviously he's got his lifestyle in California, but when he goes home to Texas, even though he's providing everything he wanted for his family, it's not turning out the way it is, because what they really need is dad back at home.
Yeah, the kid's getting in trouble.
Yep. At school, he hacked into the computer, and they tried to charge him federally for hacking into the government system.
Yeah.
The school ended up dropping it after a large donation to the gymnasium.
And also a little blackmail.
No. So the school was just fine with it. It was the actual district attorney for the state of Texas that was not giving up and wanted to try him to the full extent of the law. And that's when the report of his purchase history came in handy.
Yeah. So he throws basically a credit card bill on his desk and says, "Oh, this is what you've been buying on the internet, huh?"
Youngsluts.com.
Oh, blacksandblondes.com.
And he looks at him and goes, "Did you just try to blackmail a federal agent or whatever?"
Because
it worked.
Yeah. Just big old smile, shakes his hand. That went away. Yep. Son is off the hook. He goes back to L.A., and obviously when he's back in Texas this time, it wasn't so great with the wife.
He told her things were, and I think this happened before he blackmailed the guy too. So we're a little out of order, but yeah,
10 minutes.
Things
they're going
cut
downhill
off.
at home.
They didn't divorce, but they split up. He's going back. He's always going back with the young porn star, and he's getting a little crazy.
He's going back to California where the young porn star is.
Exactly. Yes.
And I think it's on his last trip there when he did the stuff with the attorney for Texas. On his way out, the wife is like, "I just missed that you were the guy that just took care of it. Like, you have that protection of just always taking care of whatever needs to be taken care of." He, in his real life, in his business life, that's just the guy he was.
Yep. And then he's trying to explain something. She's like, "Just get the fuck out."
So he goes back to Cali.
Is that where they go to the horse track?
Yes, it's the horse track, and the Russian mob buys him a bottle. And he finally kind of disconnects the family life with this California life, and he's, living happy with this young solo artist. And then he comes to find out that she had a past of being screwed over, which is what her first dealing with him was. Like, "I don't want to get fucked over by a business guy. I've done that already." He's like, "I won't fuck you over. I'll just fuck you." And this Russian mobster, the uncle, buys him a bottle, goes and chats with him a little bit, and come to find out that she used to dance at his club, and that's the guy that fucked her over.
He also found out from the Russian mob that the FBI is watching him.
Yes.
Following him, so he's nervous.
Him is what the Russian guy said.
Yes.
That he's following you, and they said, "How do you know?" Because they're following me too. So I
he's
know
got
that
his guy following the guy's following.
Yeah.
He's got a tail on the tail, and they're saying your name. They're not saying my name.
In actuality, they weren't trying to bust him for illegal scams or anything like that. But what they were trying to do was the terrorist, the blonde, solo
cam girls.
They loved his little girlfriend, and they could basically locate terrorists
off the top tier list. Based off when she released videos.
Her thing. So they wanted her in with the FBI. But at the same time that the FBI is talking to those two,
the cokeheads
think that their inclusion are going to try to fuck everyone over.
Well, they also inadvertently realized that one of the sites that they had been doing the credit card work for was dealing in child porn.
Within the week.
And
the sleazy man.
They thought they had taken care of it, but they hadn't.
Because they got coked out and just forgot.
Exactly. So it was still going on, still happening. So they think the FBI is coming after him. He thinks that the FBI is coming after him. And when they finally meet to talk about it, they see it, and they freak out. So they go to the sleazy lawyer. They tell him everything that happened. They tell him about the murder.
All about Ivan. Yep.
All that, right? So now the lawyer knows. Now the lawyer's trying to cut him out of this deal.
Oh, yeah. The lawyer sees just a big, wide open opportunity. Like, I can fucking get back in here and take my cut of this huge industry.
I think before that, he goes to the party where the sleazy dude, Denny Z or Danny Z or whatever his name was, he socks him in the face. He says, "Fuck you."
Yeah, this is all right after the FBI.
No, and then doesn't he shoot him in the foot?
Yeah. He goes to his house, fucks him up for being involved in fucking child pornography, and he is now associated with it. right? And he gets the tip from this FBI agent. So the FBI agent's telling...
Well, he also saw
chick-
his solo artist getting double teamed on a table or something like that.
That was right after. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So the FBI agent says tips for what they could do, like militarize the solo acts. So put guns or stuff like that in the background, or use them, lick them, whatever. And they kind of follow through with it, and things seem to be going well. But then the FBI agent gives our boy a tip. Hey, you helped us out for doing this stuff, and we were able to take out a bunch of terrorists, so we're going to give you one here. You are connected to a child pornography website, or a site that's got child porn on it. So then he goes and confronts Danny Z, and that's when he socks him.
Yep, that's what happens.
He's like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, oh, call the cops. He's call the cops, pulls his fucking gun out, shoots him in the foot, throws his gun in the pool, and on his way out, his gal is not just a solo gal. She's getting DP'd right in front of him. So he walks out, goes home, packs her fucking bags, and he had just like basically ruined stuff with his wife. So he's playing with his wedding ring, drunk as a skunk. His girlfriend comes back and he's like, your bags are packed. You know what you did. And she's like, I'll be whatever you want me to be. He's like, you can't.
No, see ya. She breaks a bottle, like chucks it at him almost, breaks
Yep.
it over the table. She leaves, whatever, right?
Good riddance.
Now, sleazy lawyer has got the upper hand on him. He's like, I know what happened, and you're going to sign yourself out of this. We have a contract here. He's with the Russian mob. It's like, you're done. You're not going to do this anymore. So,
And the mob is enforcing it. They're like, you
Yes.
just got to get out of here.
Luke Wilson takes that time to be like, you know what?
You
All
mind
right.
if I backdate this?
Yeah, just for taxes purposes.
I don't want to be taxed on money I don't have cash for.
Yeah, that's fine. So he backdates it. So now he backdates it a year, which is like 3 months before the child porn stuff came out.
6 months, yep.
6 months. So now it looks like he was never involved in it. Turns out the Russian mob wasn't a fan of the sleazy lawyer. Shot him right there. Killed him.
Because didn't he have something to do with Ivan and the $450,000 or whatever?
Yes, Ivan and the lawyer were working to get that extra $200K.
Mm-hmm.
And that the Russian found out about that, and that's why he was pinched out altogether.
Yeah, because the Russian figured out about the issue.
Yes.
And I think the only way that Luke Wilson wasn't going to die is if he signed the company over.
And that's what that's how it escalated there. So it's it's cutscene right after he signs that fucking contract. He walks out, flies back to Texas. Everything seems to be going well. It cuts over to the cokeheads being interrogated for the child pornography and stuff. And they're like, no. Was his name Jay or something like that?
The main guy?
Yeah. Luke Wilson's character. I believe it was Jay. Something along the lines of Jay. They're like, no, Jay was just as equally a part of that as we were. And they just keep pointing the finger at Jay. Then the FBI drops that contract and they go, well, it looks like he sold all his shares 6 months before any of this ever happened. So
Jack Harris.
Jack. They're like, yeah, that Jack was just as much. So they go, it's good to know that you indicted yourself, though. Thank you. So they basically can, they not convince, but admit to the crimes, trying to point the fingers at Jack, and Jack had the loophole all the way along. I don't know, what did they say? Those guys served 18 months out of 5 years?
Yeah, good behavior.
Yep. And would those guys have been child predators on the fucking...
They might have when they came out. I don't know exactly how involved...
And
But
it was
in
underaged women, so they were like 16, 17 years.
yeah.
It wasn't like they had kid porn or anything on
But
it.
when they describe it, they're like, we walked in and they had pigtails, man. Like,
Yeah.
they knew right away, so...
And honestly, in the movie, they were kind of funny, right?
They were, the cokeheads?
They were morons. They were idiots. They were the reason everything went wrong.
Yes, they fucked
But
up
just
everything
their
they
response
touched.
to things, and like they're cooped up in the hotel when they first were afraid they're going to die by the Russian mob, and
They've been up
he's
for 5
talking to the
days.
stripper. He's like, "I love you, but you can't go outside. All right,
I'll protect you. I'll protect you.
you can't trust anybody."
Yeah, it was an interesting movie. The most crazy thing I thought, though, when Jack goes back home to Texas, technically him and his wife never got divorced. They were separated. And supposedly he just shows up. The Russians had actually kidnapped the maid's son. They were trying to kidnap Jack's son.
And
They kidnapped a Mexican kid instead. And the Russian was pissed. And that's how the Russian meeting to sign the contract happened. Jack was going to get back the kid. which should have been his son.
He thought it was his son, and then
It wasn't.
The two co-kids are like, hey, that's a Mexican kid.
That's not his son. What do you mean? He's not Mexican. It was pretty funny. He gets the kid back. He signs the contract, goes back home. Kid comes home to the maid. Everything's happy. The wife is crying because she's happy. Obviously, her husband is the fucking get-her-done king.
Yep.
And he just kind of walks into the house, and then it goes to the writing at the end saying they never got divorced. They had 2 more kids. Lived happily ever after to this day.
Yeah, they actually never got divorced.
Yeah.
So they were always married through everything, which I thought was just wild.
I did too. That was like my number one red flag. I was like, there's no way you sleep with a fucking porn star and your wife doesn't divorce you.
He made a lot of money, Gage.
Money talks.
And maybe they were in
honestly,
the
it
process
does.
and they never ended up getting it done. You know, maybe the paperwork wasn't filed, or maybe he was didn't get it notarized. I don't know.
Probably a lot of couples that work through some shit, and
That's fair.
and it's a lot easier to work through some shit when guys making $1 million a month.
Now, fun fact, it's also based on a true story. Now, how true all the events are, because Jack was also the one who wrote and I believe
Financed.
Yeah,
Not about
financed it.
necessarily wrote, but he financed the movie. And I also read that he laundered the money from his current business to finance it and got in trouble for that. So he sounds like he's actually a pretty sketchy person. Maybe just thinks a little bit highly of himself. And he wanted to make
in a good light.
this movie about how I might have messed up and banged this girl,
Man.
but I was just the middleman of the whole thing. I didn't really do anything wrong. I'm a good guy.
I thought it was interesting.
Classic Stanley Yelnats. Wrong place, wrong time.
You guys were trying to pitch it.
You carry Mrs. Aroni up the hill and sing to her and let her drink from the street.
Man, it's just crazy how that curse just carries over generation to generation. He can just do that and carry up Hector.
Yeah,
Man, what a banger of a movie.
it's great. Have you read the book?
Oh, yeah. Multiple times.
I've never had a movie and a book be so similar.
Almost the exact
That's
same.
like
Yeah.
scene for scene, chapter for chapter. That's normally you watch the movie and you're like, "Oh, the book was so much better. They didn't do this." That one, exact same movie as
Both
the book.
good. Both very good. Ratings.
I had to
Middlemen.
read that in 6th grade, so I don't remember the book.
But you can watch the movie and you pretty much read it again.
Yeah, same thing. I'm gonna give it a 7.
You're real close. I'm a 6'9".
I feel like most
Me too.
of my reviews have been around there. You know what we didn't even talk about
Which one?
this movie?
Yeah.
Tits. There's a decent amount
That's
of
what I was
tits.
that's what I was rolling up to. You guys pitched it 3 weeks ago. Like, for a porn movie, not a lot of tits. There was a lot of tits.
There's a
I
good
was
amount. Yeah,
fairly enjoying it.
it wasn't a porn movie.
Consistently throughout the whole thing. It was
It
not
wasn't a porn.
So that probably moved it from 6.9 to 7 for me.
the amount of tits. Okay. Scott, do you have an unbiased rating for not watching it off this synopsis?
Yeah, after listening to you guys give your synopsis, which was a pretty damn good synopsis, I think I'm going to give it a 6.9.
Are you sure?
He wants it to average.
Are you sure it's not 6'8"?
Would that average it out to a
Scott gave it a
6.9?
6.9.
Fuck.
Let him give his own.
Sorry, dude. I would have given it a 6.8 if you didn't do as good of a
So-
job explaining it.
I'm trying to pull it up here. So
You just did well.
Star gave it a 7. Scott gave it a 6.9. Gage gave it a 6.9. Honestly, I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. I'm going to have to give it a 6.8.
That's fair.
So what does that average out to, Brandon?
Averages out to 6.90.
I feel like we have a handful of movies at a 6.9.
Okay,
we
there's some
got-
more deserving than others. Borat definitely was just a straight 6'9".
Borat was a 6.9. And actually, Just Go With It was 6.98. So, also 6.9.
Does anybody want to amend their grade on that?
As out of those 3 movies, I think
Just
this
go with
one
it?
was my favorite. So it
That was our
deserves the
first
7, I
movie ever.
guess.
That one should have just an asterisk
I like this
next
one.
to that fucker.
I thought it was a good movie. I don't think it'd be one I'd have to watch again.
Definitely not.
Just Go With It, I could watch again. I think it's worth a watch, though.
You have.
I've watched it multiple times. I would
I could
watch it
see
again.
in a bunch of years, if this were on TV or something, and I was with people who haven't seen it, sitting down and watching it again.
Depending on where it's at in the movie, I would,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah, if it's in one of those scenes. And
Yeah, you're going to watch this one on TV Star? Are you sure? I don't think this would be very fun on TV.
yeah, this doesn't seem like a TV movie. I feel like you've Googled this on the hub, so to speak.
Wait, there was Scooby-Doo in this one?
You didn't see it in the background? The kid was wearing a Scooby-Doo shirt.
Well, every now and then
the
people get sick of their
Niche?
usual. And they decide they gotta look up something else.
All right, well, I think that wraps up the review. However, somebody does have to pick a movie for next week.
Who's up?
I believe I am up.
Is this the rotation right here? I think I am after Scott.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this actually is a rotation. It wasn't planned that way. It's just how we sit down every week.
No seating charts.
am going to pick. I don't think it's a classic movie, but it is a good movie from a well-respected actor, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
I haven't seen Titanic in a long time.
I haven't either.
Netflix's. What's that one where he gets mauled right by the bear?
The Revenant?
Irrelevant.
The Revenant.
It's not that one.
Irrelevant.
We are going to watch Catch Me If You Can on Netflix.
Oh, that's a good movie.
That
I
one
like
has
that
come
movie.
up in my that one's come up for me.
I think
a lot
that'll get
too.
a pretty
We share
favorable
Netflix.
review. What does IMDb rate it?
They do.
Oh, how did our rating go
They
against how did our rating go against the average too?
IMDb gives Catch Me If You Can an 8.1.
Okay.
That is the also true story of Frank Abagnale.
And it gives Middlemen 6.8.
Are you serious?
Yep.
I didn't even know that.
Star, have you seen Catch Me If You Can?
Yep.
Man,
Love it.
We are right there with these ratings.
We always are within a few points. Point.
We're always a little better than they are. Whether it's a little lower or a little higher, we're just a little bit better.
better.
And for everybody listening, we actually don't look at these ahead of time. This was the first time I heard the review of Catch Me If You Can, and honestly, I already forgot what it was. So
I won't remember in a week.
Yeah, I sure won't.
you won't watch
remember.
the movie, so it doesn't matter.
I will, too, watch it again. I like this movie. It's a good movie.
Oh, you've seen it before
Yeah.
too? Okay.
I like it a lot.
I don't know if I finished it.
I haven't seen it in a while, but I have seen it.
When you're married and you're watching movies with your wife and with, a kid running around, sometimes you just watch it and then you get busy
Walk
and
away.
then you forget to finish it. And then you're like, all right, let's watch another episode of Are You the One?
No, I'm more saying I think this is the first time I'm the only one who hasn't seen the movie.
Oh, you haven't seen it at all?
I don't think so. No,
That's great. Obviously, Tom Hanks, too, not just a Leo movie.
I did not know that.
You didn't?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause it's only Leo on the cover. I think.
Well,
Yeah.
it's because Hank hasn't caught him.
It's a cat and mouse, basically.
That is
Tom
exactly
Hanks
what
is the
Netflix
cop.
Says it is
Frank Abagnale's one. It's true story.
on an airplane, right?
No, that's just he's a con artist,
Oh,
like a
okay.
straight con artist. It's about checks. He fakes checks.
Cool. I'm excited.
And it's a great movie. I'm
Yeah.
excited to watch it. Has
Yeah,
been a couple
this
of
is
years.
Definitely a good one. Other than that, I don't think I have anything.
That's it for this episode. Bye.
Go watch Middlemen and jerk off.
Bye. Check out our website, www.officialbutthole.com. We're on all socials at officialbutthole. Please leave us a rating and review on Apple Music, and we'll see you next time.